1. Listen closely, for the very frequency of your reality is shifting as we speak. What I'm about to share with you is not merely a message to pass the time, it is a spiritual decree regarding your immediate future. You are standing on the precipice of a reward of tectonic magnitude, a shift so profound that it will rewrite the narrative of your struggle. This is not happening by chance, nor is it a stroke of random luck. It is happening because you have passed a monumental test, a series of secret trials that you likely did not even realize were an examination until this very moment. You have survived where the vast majority have failed. Look back at the last 90 days of your life. It has been a period of inexplicable pressure, a gauntlet of provocations designed specifically to touch your deepest wounds and trigger your oldest insecurities. It was not the universe conspiring against you, nor was it bad luck. It was a divine audit of your soul, a necessary calibration before an elevation that your old self could not have sustained. Many others, when faced with this specific frequency of pressure, surrendered to bitterness. They allowed the delays and the disappointments to corrode their faith, believing the lie that the heavens had forgotten their address. But you remained. You felt the pain. You acknowledged the exhaustion, yet you refused to let your heart turn cold. Now that you have proven your capacity to endure, you must prepare your capacity to receive. This is often where the chosen stumble, not in the battle, but in the harvest. To guide you through this critical transition, I strongly recommend you explore the 3 keys to a prosperous life. This trilogy is not just a collection of books. It is a practical map designed specifically for souls like yours to awaken to their true nature and heal the invisible locks that have kept abundance at bay. It teaches you how to expand with stability, mastering the art of receiving, sustaining, and multiplying your blessings without guilt or fear. Available as both an e-book for deep study and an audiobook for immersion, you can find the link in the pinned comment or description below. Whether you are seeking to break old cycles or build a legacy, this resource provides the structure you need. If you feel called to finally accept the prosperity that belongs to you, do not let this moment pass. Returning to the nature of this shift, it is vital that you understand why the test had to be secret. If you had known it was a test, you would have acted out of performance rather than character. The divine intelligence needed to see who you are when no one is watching, and how you react when the promise seems to be delayed indefinitely. The silence from above was not an absence of presence. It was the proctor stepping back to allow you to write your answers on the paper of your life. You were being tested on your spiritual autonomy. Could you maintain your vibration of hope when the external evidence suggested despair? You did. And because you did not fold under the weight of the silence, you have qualified for the sound of the breakthrough. This reward is not just material, though it will manifest in the physical realm. It is a restoration of the time the locusts have eaten. It is a validation that your resilience was not in vain. Consider the specific nature of the challenges you faced recently. Notice how they were tailor-made to irritate your specific patience or challenge your specific trust issues. That was the precision of the audit. You may have noticed relationships ending abruptly or people revealing their true colors without warning. This was not a loss, it was a clearing. The vessel cannot be filled with new wine if it is still cluttered with the sediment of the past. If you have felt a strange sense of detachment or a sudden lack of tolerance for drama that you used to entertain, take this as a sign that the internal upgrade is complete. If this resonates with your spirit and you can feel the truth of these words settling in your chest, signify your readiness by engaging with this transmission, be it through a like or a subscription, as a way of anchoring this energy into your algorithm and your life. The reward that is arriving is often referred to as a tectonic blessing because, like the plates of the earth, it moves deep beneath the surface before it alters the landscape above. You may not see the mountain rising yet, but the ground beneath you has already shifted. This brings us to the concept of the vacuum law. In these past weeks, you may have experienced a stripping away, a loss of interest in old hobbies, a distancing from old friends, or even financial fluctuations. This created a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum, and the spiritual realm rushes to fill empty space with energy that matches your current vibration. Because you maintained your integrity during the test, the energy rushing in to fill that space is of the highest order. It is prosperity, it is peace, and it is a new level of influence. However, there is a subtle danger that arises the moment the pressure lifts. When a diver comes up from the deep ocean too quickly, they can suffer from decompression sickness. Similarly, when a chosen one moves from a season of high-pressure testing into a season of high-favor reward, there can be a spiritual vertigo. You might feel an urge to self-sabotage, a familiar voice whispering that this piece is too good to be true, or that you should be waiting for the other shoe to drop. You must recognize this voice not as intuition, but as a trauma response from the battles you have just survived. Your nervous system has become addicted to the fight, and it needs to be retrained to tolerate peace. This is why the next few days are critical. You are in a corridor of transition. The test is over, the grade has been recorded, and the reward has been dispatched, but you are still walking toward the delivery point. During this walk, you must guard your tongue and your mind. Do not speak of your old struggles as if they are your present reality. Do not complain about the dust of the battle when you are already wearing the crown of the victor. If you find yourself sharing this message with someone who understands this journey, you are amplifying the signal of your readiness. The universe is listening to your conversation with yourself. Are you discussing your scars, or are you discussing your strategy for the abundance that is incoming? There is also a biological component to this shift. You may have been feeling unusually tired, requiring more sleep than usual, or experiencing vivid, lucid dreams. This is the recalibration of your energetic body. The sheer amount of light and new information entering your field requires physical integration. Do not fight the rest. The warrior rests, not because he is lazy, but because he knows the weight of the glory he is about to carry requires peak strength. You are being upgraded from a vessel of war to a vessel of governance. The skills that got you through the wilderness, hypervigilance, defensiveness, isolation, are not the skills you need for the promised land. You are being asked to soften your armor without lowering your standards. As we move deeper into this realization, you will begin to notice glimmers, small, almost imperceptible coincidences that act as the first drops of rain before the downpour. A random check arriving in the mail, a phone call from a connection you thought was dead, a sudden resolution to a health issue. These are not random. They are the reconnaissance team of your blessing. Acknowledge them. Gratitude is the magnetism that pulls the rest of the train into the station. But there is one final crucial element to this phase of receiving, a hidden trap that catches many chosen ones right at the doorstep of their destiny, and it has to do with how you handle the people who did not pass their test. It is the trap of misplaced compassion, a form of spiritual survivor's guilt that compels you to lower your ladder back down into the pit to rescue those who have not developed the strength to climb. You must understand that not everyone in your circle was assigned to go where you are going. Some were merely assigned to the version of you that existed in the wilderness. They were companions for the struggle, not partners for the conquest. When you try to drag people into a dimension of blessing they have not qualified for, you do not save them. You only destabilize your own footing. You become a bridge that collapses under the weight of unauthorized cargo. This is a hard truth, perhaps the hardest you will face in this season, but you must realize that their inability to move forward is not a reflection of your lack of love, but of their lack of readiness. You cannot want their destiny more than they do. If you attempt to carry them, you will find that the energy required to sustain your new altitude is drained by the gravity of their stagnation, and you will fall back into the very mud you have just been washed clean of. This specific transition, from the battlefield to the throne room, is complex, and the sensation of leaving others behind can trigger deep internal conflict. It is exactly why I curated the 3 keys to a prosperous life. This trilogy is not merely a collection of books. It is a comprehensive map designed for the chosen one who is ready to awaken to their true nature, heal the invisible traumas of the past, and expand with stability. We often self-sabotage because we lack the instructions on how to receive, sustain, and multiply abundance without guilt. Whether you prefer to read the ebooks or listen to the audiobooks while you move through your day, this trilogy provides the practical, step-by-step guidance to ensure that you do not just touch prosperity, but that you inhabit it permanently. If you feel that pull to finally understand the mechanics of your own rising, I invite you to click the link in the pinned comment or description below to begin this study. It is time to equip yourself with the knowledge that matches your new elevation. As we return to the nature of this separation, understand that the universe is now operating by the law of vibrational compatibility. In your previous season, your frequency was erratic, fluctuating between hope and despair, which allowed you to connect with a wide variety of people. But as you stabilize in this new zone of peace and authority, your frequency is becoming coherent and specific. This coherence acts as a filter. People who are addicted to chaos, drama, and low-level survival modes will naturally feel repelled by your presence. They may accuse you of changing, of acting superior, or of forgetting where you came from. Do not internalize these accusations. They are merely the sound of their demons reacting to your light. When they say you have changed, agree with them. You have changed. You have undergone a metamorphic process that they did not participate in and therefore cannot understand. To apologize for your growth is to insult the Creator who watered you. This brings us to the concept of the empty room. As these old connections fall away, you may find yourself in a period of social solitude. The phone rings less, the invitations stop coming. The noise of your social life drops to a near silence. Do not mistake this solitude for loneliness. This is the vacuum that precedes the filling. In physics, nature abhors a vacuum. When space is created, something must rush in to fill it. By clearing your life of relationships that no longer serve your highest good, the universe is preparing the space for new alliances, new mentors, and new soul family members who are native to the altitude you are now living in. If you panic during this quiet phase and rush to fill the void with the wrong people just to avoid being alone, you will clutter the landing strip where your blessings are trying to touch down. Hold the space. Trust the silence. It is in this quiet chamber that you will receive the downloads and strategies for the governance of your new territory. If this resonates with where you are right now, if you can feel the hush falling over your life, take a moment to like this video. It signals to the algorithm, and more importantly to your own subconscious, that you are accepting this season of recalibration. We must also address the phenomenon of phantom pain in your identity. Just as an amputee can still feel pain in a limb that is no longer there, you may still feel the phantom pains of poverty, rejection, or conflict, even though those realities have been cut off from your life. You might wake up with a racing heart, expecting a crisis that never comes. You might check your bank account 5 times a day, waiting for the money to disappear. This is the residue of your old survival identity. It takes time for the mind to catch up to the reality of the spirit. You must be patient with yourself, but you must also be firm. When these phantom fears arise, speak to them. Tell your nervous system, we are safe now. The war is over. You are retraining your biology to run on the fuel of joy rather than the adrenaline of fear. This is a deliberate practice. You are moving from a reactive state where you are constantly dodging blows to a creative state where you are building a legacy. This shift from reactive to creative is the hallmark of the chosen one's maturity. In the wilderness, you were a survivor. A survivor's primary goal is to not die. but a king or a queen's primary goal is to build, to cultivate, and to expand. You cannot build if you are constantly looking over your shoulder. This is why the glimmers we spoke of earlier are so important. They are evidence that the environment has changed. When you see a small victory, amplify it in your mind. Celebrate it disproportionately. If you find a parking spot easily, thank the universe. If a stranger smiles at you, take it as a sign of favor. You are building a case for your own success. You are convincing your skeptical brain that the tide has truly turned. By focusing on these micro wins, you are tuning your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information to look for opportunities and blessings rather than threats. This is how you magnetize the downpour of abundance. However, there is a specific test that often appears right at this juncture, a test of character that determines if you can hold the weight of what is coming. It is the test of offense. As you rise, you will become more visible. Your light will shine into the dark corners of other people's insecurities. Because of this, you may become a target for projection. People may attack you, slander you, or try to undermine you for no apparent logical reason. It is vital that you do not engage in these battles. These are distraction campaigns sent to pull you out of your high seat and down into the mud of contention. Remember, you cannot fight a pig in the mud without getting dirty, and the pig likes it. When you stop to throw stones at every dog that barks, you will never reach your destination. Your silence is your most powerful response. It declares that you are too busy with your purpose to be distracted by their poison. It is a power move. It shows that their opinion has no currency in your economy. Consider subscribing to the channel if you are ready to master the art of silence and strategy. We are building a community of those who understand that true power often whispers while weakness screams. Let us go deeper into the financial aspect of this transition, as it is often the area where the most friction is felt. You are moving from manna to harvest. In the wilderness, manna fell from the sky daily, just enough for that day. You lived paycheck to paycheck, miracle to miracle. It kept you alive, but it did not allow you to build. Now, you are entering the land of harvest. Harvest requires a different mindset. It requires management. It requires storage. It requires investment. You are not just being given money, you are being given resources to steward. The universe is watching how you handle the first drops of increase. Do you hoard it out of fear? Do you spend it frivolously to prove to others that you've made it? Or do you treat it with respect, circulating it wisely and saving for the vision you have been shown? To be a vessel of governance means you must become financially literate in the ways of the kingdom. Money is energy. If you respect it, it will respect you. If you treat it as a tool for good, it will multiply in your hands. This stewardship extends to your physical vessel as well. We touched on the need for rest, but we must explore the concept of cellular upgrades. The energy you are channeling now is of a higher voltage. If you try to run 220 volts through a 110-volt wire, you will blow a fuse. This is why you may experience sudden dietary changes, an aversion to alcohol or processed foods, or a sudden need for water and sunlight. Your body is trying to alkalize and strengthen itself to conduct this new power. Listen to it. If you ignore the physical demands of this season, you risk burnout or physical collapse right at the threshold of your breakthrough. Your body is the temple that houses your gift. If the temple crumbles, the gift cannot be delivered. Treat your body with the same reverence you treat your spirit. They are inextricably linked. The clarity of your intuition depends on the clarity of your blood and the calmness of your nerves. There is a mystery here that few speak of, the mystery of time compression. As you align with your true purpose, you will notice that time seems to behave differently. Projects that would have taken years are completed in months. Connections that usually take decades to cultivate happen in an instant. This is because you are no longer pushing against the current. You are flowing with the river of divine intent. This acceleration is thrilling, but it can also be disorienting. You might feel like life is moving too fast, that you are losing control. Breathe into the speed. You are not losing control. You are being guided by a higher intelligence that knows the shortcuts. Your job is not to row the boat anymore. Your job is to steer. Keep your hand on the rudder, keep your eyes on the horizon, and trust the velocity of the flow. If you are feeling this acceleration, or if you are yearning for it, verify your alignment by hitting the notification bell. Ensure you do not miss the signals when they are broadcast. Now we must confront the final guardian at the gate of your new life, the spirit of forgiveness. This is not the soft, sentimental forgiveness that the world speaks of. This is a strategic, surgical release of debt. As long as you hold a grudge against those who hurt you in the wilderness, you are tethered to them. Anger is a cord. Resentment is a chain. You cannot ascend to the throne while you are chained to the dungeon. You must forgive not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. You must look at your past abusers, your betrayers, your doubters, and realize that they were merely actors in the play of your development. They played the villain so you could learn to be the hero. They provided the resistance that built your spiritual muscle. In a strange, cosmic way, they served your destiny. When you can look at your Judas and say, "Thank you for the kiss that pushed me to my cross and my resurrection," you have mastered the lesson. You are free. This freedom creates a lightness in your aura that is irresistible to opportunity. You become a magnet for high-frequency events, but be warned. As you step into this new level of influence, you will be tested on your integrity. In the wilderness, few people were watching. Now, everyone is watching. The standard is higher. Small compromises that you used to get away with will now have immediate consequences. This is not punishment, it is protection. The universe will not allow you to build a skyscraper on a cracked foundation. You are being called to a standard of radical honesty, radical responsibility, and radical authenticity. You can no longer wear masks. The mask will suffocate you. You must be exactly who you are, in every room, in every conversation. This integration of the public self and the private self is the ultimate definition of power. When you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. As you walk this path, you will begin to develop a new sensory perception. You will smell deception before it speaks. You will feel the intent of a person before they shake your hand. This discernment is your sword. Do not dull it by doubting it. If something feels off, it is off. If a deal looks good on paper but makes your stomach churn, walk away. Your logic is slow, your intuition is instantaneous. In this season of prosperity, your logic will try to talk you into things that your spirit is trying to talk you out of. Listen to the spirit. It has the view from the mountaintop. It sees the ambush that is miles down the road. Trusting this inner navigation system is what separates the chosen ones who rule from those who merely survive. This journey is not linear, it is spiral. You may feel like you are circling back to old issues, but you are actually viewing them from a higher vantage point. You are not going backwards, you are spiraling up. Each time you face an old fear and defeat it again, you lock in a new level of mastery. Do not be discouraged by the repetition. It is the process of solidification. You are turning liquid wisdom into solid character. And soon, very soon, the testing will stop feeling like a burden and start feeling like a game. You will realize that you are greater than anything that can be thrown at you. You will walk into rooms and the atmosphere will shift just because you are there. You will speak and things will happen. This is the birthright you have been fighting for. But there is one more layer to this onion, a layer that involves the legacy you leave for those who come after you. You are not just breaking curses for yourself, you are breaking them for your bloodline. You are the cycle breaker. The trauma stops with you. The poverty stops with you. The addiction stops with you. This adds a weight to your mission, but also a tremendous dignity. You are the ancestor that future generations will pray to and thank. You are clearing the brush so they can walk on a paved road. when you feel tired, when you want to quit, remember the faces of those not yet born. You are carrying their freedom in your backpack. Keep walking. Share this message with someone who needs to be reminded of the importance of their walk. Sometimes, simply knowing that another person understands the burden of the cycle breaker can save a life. In the coming days, pay close attention to your dreams. The veil between the conscious and subconscious is thinning. You may receive symbols, numbers, or names in your sleep. Keep a journal by your bed. These are not random firings of the brain. They are encrypted communiques from your higher self. We are entering a time where the dream world and the waking world will begin to merge, where the things you visualize with emotion will manifest with startling speed. This is the zone of miracles, but miracles are just natural laws that we have not yet understood. You are becoming a scientist of the spirit, learning to apply these laws to craft a life of beauty and impact. The danger now is not failure, the danger is distraction. The enemy knows he cannot stop you, so he will try to distract you. He will send busy work. He will send false loves. He will send meaningless entertainment. He will try to fill your time with good things so that you do not have time for the great things. You must become ruthless with your time. Your time is the raw material of your destiny. Do not sell it cheaply. Learn to say no. No is a complete sentence. It is a holy word. Every time you say no to something that is not in alignment, you are saying yes to your purpose. Guard your focus like a dragon guards its gold. And as you stand on this precipice, looking out over the landscape of your new life, take a deep breath. Inhale the future. Exhale the past. You are ready. You have been forged in the fire, hammered on the anvil of adversity, and quenched in the waters of tears. You are a weapon of light, sharp and true. The world has been waiting for you to take your place. Not the apologetic version of you, not the wounded version of you, but the majestic, sovereign version of you. The crown is hovering over your head. All you have to do is stand tall enough to wear it. The silence you hear now is not emptiness. It is the hush of the audience before the curtain rises. The play is about to begin, and you have the lead role. Do not improvise from fear. Recite from the script of your destiny. The lights are coming up. The stage is set. Walk forward. The ground will appear beneath your feet as you step. This is the way of the chosen. This is the way of the king. This is the way of the queen. And the first step into this dominion is to realize that the power you were looking for out there has been quietly gathering in here, inside your chest, waiting for permission to explode. Give it permission, but even as you give it permission, you must be aware of the echo effect. When you shout a new declaration into the universe, the old reality often echoes back one last time. You declare, "I am wealthy," and immediately an unexpected bill arrives. You declare, "I am healed," and a symptom flares up. Do not be fooled. This is just the echo of the old valley you are leaving. It is the sound of the past, bouncing off the canyon walls. It is not a prophecy of the future. Many chosen ones turn back at the echo, thinking their declaration failed. It did not fail. The echo is proof that you shouted loud enough to be heard. Let the echo fade. Do not converse with it. Keep moving toward the source of the new sound. We must also speak of the gatekeepers. In every new level, there are gatekeepers, individuals or institutions that seem to block your entry. They may deny your application, reject your proposal, or ignore your presence. Do not view them as enemies. They are quality control. They are testing your resolve. If you turn away at the first no, you are not ready for the yes. Sometimes a no is simply a redirection to a better gate. Other times it is a challenge to knock harder. You must use your discernment to know which is which, but never let a gatekeeper define your worth. They guard the door, but they do not own the building. The architect of the building is the one who sent you. If one door is locked, check the window. If the window is stuck, check the foundation. There is always a way in for the one who is sent. As you navigate these gates, your language must change. You can no longer speak the dialect of the victim. You must speak the language of the victor. The victim asks, "Why is this happening to me?" The victor asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" The victim says, "I hope I can make it." The victor says, "I will find a way." Your words are the code that programs your reality. If your code is full of bugs and errors, words of doubt, fear, and lack, your reality will crash. Debug your speech. Catch yourself when you complain. Cancel the negative thought before it takes root. Speak what you want to see, not what you currently see. This is the essence of faith, and faith is the currency of this new realm. If you are committed to changing your language and debugging your reality, comment "I speak power" below. Let your words be the first evidence of your transformation. There is a subtle energy vampire that you must be aware of in this phase: the need